Hi, how y'all doing? Hey, so, woo, okay. Now, I am in a first of all, welcome. If you're new, if you're not new, welcome. Enjoy the sounds of my voice and my voice alone. I don't remember the last time I actually had a guest, to be fair. Oh, interesting. I'll have to think about that and about implementing some guests soon. To be honest, I think the one thing about adulting is the busyness and the alignment of schedules of people can be a bit mad sometimes, but we move. So, in this episode, I'm sounding, well, to me, I'm sounding jovial, although I do sound the same most of the time. But I'm trying to lighten the mood because this topic is a bit awkward. But I'm going to be talking about the 5 things I would have done differently after breaking up with my ex-boyfriend. Now, disclaimer, I do not hate my ex. I'm actually very, very fond of him. I like him a lot. I think he's a great guy. Yeah, this is not to bash him. Although I'm not bashing him. I'm not saying anything negative about him. But someone might be like, oh, you're saying all this because you hate him. You're saying all this because you don't like him anymore. You still hate over the relationship. No, that's not it. I'm just thinking of things that I've done. I keep saying this. I'm reflecting on things I've done and how I would do better next time. My process was my process. I can't take it back. I'm not going to tell you what I've done. Maybe not this time. Oh, this is funny. Yeah, maybe one day. There's a lot of things I need to say one day. Uni, my breakup, um, finances, a lot. But I just feel like I need to be in the right space to say it because you guys can really judge. Anyway, first thing I would have done is I would have gone out more and not wallowed at home. I like my house a lot. I say this, well, not even, yeah, my house. I like my space. I like me. I like to be around me. Yeah. But when you're sad and around yourself, you know how depressing that is? Like, you just go mad in your head. You're crying. You're just thinking, oh my gosh, will life ever get better? Oh my gosh, will I ever be happy again? Oh my gosh, how can this be happening to me? Am I really that bad of a person that I have to be so sad? When you're sad, like, you know, in the pits of sadness that you don't see anywhere out. Yeah, that kind of sadness there. And you're just in your bed. Right off. Right off. Now, back then, I didn't have Snapchat, I didn't have Instagram, I didn't have Twitter. So I'm not seeing people go out. So that's not even what made me want to go think, oh, I'm seeing everyone enjoying themselves. But you can hear like people tell you, oh, so and so is in love, or so and so is just, so you're thinking, everyone around me is just happy, and I'm just the only one that's really upset. Like, why? What happened? It's dramatic central. I think when you're at home and you're sad, the scenarios we really like to daydream as people and overthink and make scenarios for ourselves that will never happen. When you're sad though, goes to an like tenfold. Like, that was my last chance of happiness, and nobody will ever love me again. I don't think I'll ever see a man again in my life. No one will ever take me out on a date. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? Like, it just sounds. As I say it out loud, I can't help but laugh, and I do laugh at myself because, like, some of the things I think, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, the only thing I can think of is like, you have a problem and you need to be sorted. But that's just what's sad. That's just what happens when you're sad. You don't see anywhere out of your madness, and I didn't see anywhere out of it. I thought that was the end for me. Alas, it is not the end. I'm still around. I've not died. I'm not unhappy. And the thing is, I would have gone out because I think it would have just distracted me. Because when I started going out, it just distracted me from whatever I was thinking about. It's common sense. when you're busy doing something else, you will not think about whatever it is you have to think about. Does that make sense? Like, you just don't. If you're just idle, you just, you just have your brain to play with, really. So I would have just gone out, because eventually when I did go out and then now just started getting over everything, you just one day something just will just click and you're like, oh, I'm not unhappy anymore. But that won't happen if you're in bed. So go out, kids. Second thing I would have done differently, sorry, is I would not have demonized myself, because just because something didn't work out or didn't last does not mean I'm a useless person or a failure or a bad person. I may have attributes I need to change, but that is just it. So I think it kind of, for girls as well, like girls mainly, like if a girl has a failed relationship, quote unquote, because it was you in the relationship by yourself. But anyway, if a girl has a failed relationship, everyone's thinking, what did you do wrong? How can you not keep a man? What's wrong with you? Da 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 da. Like, you're just on the cross for them to flog. Like, oh, nah, people are disgraceful. And the thing is, the main people that do this is actually women. Women love to judge other women in terms of how they are romantic, like romantic situations. Is she with a man? Does she have a baby? Is she married? Like, as if your self-worth is tied to your status. And I'll get into that later as well. But yeah, so I was there feeling bad, like, oh my gosh, oh, how can you lose your boyfriend? Lose as if he was some kind of vehicle that was stolen from me, not that he was a person. But yeah, how could you lose your boyfriend? Oh my gosh, how would you ever move on? Like, now look at you, you're a failure, brother. It's never that serious. It's never that serious. It didn't work out. That's it. It just didn't work out. Like, it's nothing. Like, I think we overcomplicate these things. Like, it's not things. You try things out and they don't work out, and that's okay. Doesn't mean that you guys are evil people. Doesn't mean that you guys are enemies. It just didn't work out, and that is fine. You're not a failure. You're not a useless person. Unless you did something really, really evil, then that's on you and God. But if you've done nothing, then yeah, like, okay, not nothing, but like, if just you guys didn't work out for normal reasons, then just charge it to the game. Like, it is what it is. Um, the third thing I would have done differently, I would have stopped talking to my ex sooner than I did. And I mean, stop talking to him in like a capacity in which it was necessary, because when you break up with somebody and you keep talking to them, you are still in the routine of talking to that person. You still are living life with that person, essentially being there the way they were before. So I know for me, it was a thing of I didn't know what life would be like without talking. Oh, this sounds really disgusting. I didn't know what life would be like without them being there to talk to me, because I was used to talking to that person for years, like day in day out, years. I'm talking to this guy. What do you mean I have to stop talking to him? Like, are you alright? Of course I'm not going to, but I should have, because with anything, you get used to it. Like, life moves on, life changes. The same way I didn't speak to that guy before I met him, and I was fine. I had to learn to not speak to him every day after we broke up, and I'm still fine. Not to say you're not going to miss that person. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, don't think your life won't move on, because it will. When you're going through something, yeah, I don't know if you know, but the world don't stop. It keeps going. If you had an assignment due, the assignment will still be due. If you had bills to pay, the direct debit is still going to come out. So don't be thinking, oh, people are going to be really understanding to my situation, and because I'm upset, they're not going to really, be so hard on me. Nobody has sympathy for you in this world, so keep going, keep moving. And the fourth thing I would have done differently is I would have understood that there is someone for everyone and I won't be alone forever. The dramatics, I swear, I think I should have been in a film. I should have, because I'm just hearing and remembering the things I'm thinking. All right, cool. If I am going to be by myself forever, that's just the way that God intended it for me to be. But the likelihood of billions of people in this world that you'll never find somebody again is very, very slim. Yeah. We have this attachment to people and this ownership of people when we get with them, that these are the people that we're going to be with forever. Like, this is my person. And that's cute. It sounds good on paper, but you will get to know other people and you will also connect with other people. Not the same way, maybe the same way, maybe a better way, maybe a less better way, but you'll make connections with people. Don't hold on to this idea or there's a word they use in psychology, what's it called? It's like that's it. It's a phantom relationship. We're going to look at your ex or your ex partner and be like, okay, but they were so good at this and this and this, and you're phantom. I'm going to call it romanticizing because it's better for me to say that. You're romanticizing how it was and neglecting the issues that you guys were having that caused you lot to break up in the first place. If you guys are meant to be back together again, that's great. Love that for you. But if you don't, that's also fine. So yeah, just know that there's other people out there for everybody. Like, everybody, even your arch nemesis will find love and you'll be annoyed. But that's just the way it goes. And the last thing I would have done is remembered myself and my worth outside of being a girlfriend. So tying back to what I mentioned a bit earlier about how females, oh, forgive me, women are praised for being in relationships. We're praised for maintaining relationships. We're praised for being deemed suitable by men, suitable wives, suitable mothers. So if you're able to maintain that and maintain it in what is looked at as a good way in society, that you're not bringing your issues to the forefront, you are like a creme de la creme, 10 out of 10 wife material. That, all these things I'm saying, like, oh my gosh, she's a wife, like, and she said with such pride, like, not because she's a wife and she's married and it's done in the eyes of God and it's a covenant with God, but she's a wife in terms of, she managed to secure a man proposed to her, he wants to take care of her, he wants to be with her. Unlike us single girls that are just looked at like like bread. Like, you will see a girl that's single and be like, oh, why are you single for? You're so pretty. Does prettiness get you a boyfriend? As far as I'm concerned, I didn't think it did. I don't know where people got this idea from, is that, oh, but you're so young, why don't you have a boyfriend? What does my youth have to do with my relationship status? And why is it such a pressing thing? Why are you not asking me about my savings account? Why are you not asking me about my credit score? Why are you not asking me about my mental health? But you insist on asking me about my boyfriend, or lack of, or why am I thinking about marriage? Am I thinking about kids? Like, let's stop the pedestal we put relationships on for women. And if we're gonna keep it, that you are worth, you're more like, your worth is higher if you're in a relationship, can we put the same pressure on men? I don't mind it if it's equal. Like, oh, he's a husband, he has some good credentials, and then look at his single mates and then also judge them the same way you judge girls and their single mates. Like, be serious. So I really used to tie myself in terms of, I can't be single because if I'm single then I'm just going to be looked as less than. But it took remembering, like, I'm actually somebody outside of being a guy's girlfriend. My worth is not because of being this man's girlfriend or this man's fiance, this man's wife. My worth is my worth because that's just what it is. Once I remembered that, I'm like, right, cool. Like, we're good. I was always good, but once I remembered, I was even better because I was no longer sad that I was a worthless single girl. Now, I hope those 5 things made you laugh, because they made me laugh. Thinking about myself sometimes, like, I'm a serious candidate, but I'm not. But don't take me seriously. Like, I'm serious in life, but I'm also a clown. I have funny situations I've been in that make me cringe when I think about them. Um, I share my experiences not to sound like, oh my gosh, I'm like this and like that. One is because it's hilarious and I think people should laugh at me or laugh with me. And two, because I'd rather somebody that is going through something like this or hasn't been through something like this to hear my ridiculousness, take it on, never forget it, and then not embarrass themselves like I've embarrassed myself in this life. I don't have shame, so even if I get embarrassed, it's not for too long. But it's just cringy. Oh, that's all I can say. If you ever hear me say something again that's just sounding mad cringy, say thank you. Don't thank me. It's not that serious. But you get what I'm trying to say. Oh gosh. Anyway, that's it from me. This has been great sharing my relationship experience, partly, not even fully, because I've not even scratched the surface. If you liked it, like it, share it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.